Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. For some reason, 1,000 of you mad lads decided to subscribe to my channel over the last couple of weeks since my first video. I don't know why, but I appreciate you all hanging out. If you like to hear me complain about Battlefield, feel free to stick around and drop a sub if you want to. We need to chat about the current state of Battlefield 6. Season 2 is likely going to be announced in the coming weeks, and I think it's fair to say that we've all been sitting around waiting for the teams at Battlefield Studios to get back from their break with a clear direction about the future of the game. As with all Battlefield games, the launch has had its fair share of problems, but I do think Battlefield 6 does have potential to be one of the best Battlefield games, given they make some key course corrections over the coming months. It's going to take some strong design choices rather than the design by committee feel we're currently getting. Realistically, I don't see the game actually getting to a better state until maybe late spring or summer, which was the original internal release window. So right now is the time to give Battlefield Studios feedback if they are going to make some changes. It's no secret that Battlefield 6 has been hemorrhaging players, and I think we all knew the player counts would taper off eventually, as Battlefield games typically do, but maybe it's been a little quicker than we anticipated. From EA's perspective, I can't imagine they're too happy with the player retention given the fact that they intended to sell a bunch of cosmetics to a larger player base. I honestly don't think many Battlefield fans are pleased with the current offerings. I rarely see any players rocking store bundles. They just aren't enticing to players, as I explained in my last video. I think this brings into question if they are going to be able to monetize the game successfully. Bottom line is, if this area of the game does not succeed, it's likely that EA won't put resources into substantial updates and future content. It has to be a win for EA as well. It's possible that the initial influx of new players at release already had their fun and have moved on, leaving just the core Battlefield players along with an amount of disaffected COD refugees. I know many are pointing to Arc Raiders right now as the culprit, but I don't really see them as peers of one another. Sure, they're both video games, but I myself just want to play a good Battlefield game. I'm not really all that interested in playing a retro future extraction shooter, even if it is a good game. It's an entirely different genre. It's an apples to oranges comparison. There is no substitute for Battlefield. Let's go over some of the top issues that I feel Battlefield 6 needs to correct at the moment as we roll into Season 2 in the next month or so. We'll start with the most important issues and work our way down from there. Number 1, content pace. If Battlefield Studios thinks that 2 maps, 5 guns, and 1 vehicle every 3 months is enough, I think they're mistaken. Ideally, it should be double this amount if the goal is to retain players. Getting the content pacing back to that of Battlefield 3 and 4 Premium should be the goal. 4 maps, 10 guns. It wasn't the Premium model that people liked, it was the amount of content that Premium delivered. Skins, game modes, battle passes, and challenges are not content. I'm not interested in playing random offshoot game modes, although I will commend the attempt at creativity. These modes are just not needed for Battlefield. Just get the core game modes dialed in and focus that developer time on other areas. We have Portal if people want to make their own unique modes. Number 2, map tweaks and repurposing. Many of the maps currently give off a Modern Warfare 2 ground warp vibe more than they do Battlefield. This has contributed to frustration generally from the community. This is mostly because of the small to medium map sizes, strangely drawn map boundaries close to flags, and the focus on time to engagement. I think they overcorrected from 2042's map mistakes if we're being honest. It feels as if the game is trying to funnel you into certain paths rather than giving you the freedom to maneuver around as you would on a normal Battlefield map. Spending some time tweaking this area of the game would be worthwhile in my opinion. A few players in the community have spent time working on the maps in Portal, redrawing map boundaries, moving objective locations, and widening capture areas to improve them. We don't necessarily need giant map overhauls, as was done with 2042. Just adjust the base maps to somewhat flow more like Battlefield maps. I'm sure you could copy off of these players' homework and implement these improvements into the official maps. While we're talking about Portal, we are leaving easy layup maps on the table. Why don't we take the RedSec map itself and cut it up into 4 or 5 conquest maps in addition to the other maps that are currently in development? This would be such an easy way to increase the size of the map pool significantly. Additionally, I think it would be a huge mistake to only add more small maps when new maps do get added. The community might just have an aneurysm if that happens. Number 3, netcode improvements. This is probably the biggest technical issue facing the game right now. It really ruins the feel of many gunfights, especially when it feels like your bullets aren't registering hits properly. Dying around corners or receiving one-frame deaths feel absolutely frustrating to play. This really affects how the gunplay feels on a fundamental level, and I'm sure contributes to the annoying feeling that pushes players away from the game. Other technical issues like performance getting worse are also important, but I think netcode is the top priority at the moment. Number 4, balance passes. Some areas of the game are really strangely balanced right now. For example, sniper rifles are much too powerful in their current state. Bullet drop is negligible, the sweet spot lowers the skill gap, and automatic zeroing to any distance with the rangefinder further trivializes sniping skill. Sniping has been casualized so much that it takes any of the depth out of sniping. 3 bullets a kill automatic weapons also feel much too quick, and it's only further exacerbated by the netcode. Headshot multipliers also need to be adjusted somewhat to be more viable. I don't care if you need to just remove ammunition types altogether, something just needs to be done. You should feel rewarded if you can put rounds on someone's head, especially at range. It also makes snipers counterable by players that can hit their shots well at distance, because snipers only show you their head for a second or two before they duck away. Headshot multipliers, being what they are now, make this type of counter nearly impossible, leading to more sniper oppression. On another note, can we please make the Claymore only do like 85 damage? The Claymore is nearly impossible to spot right now, and it being a one-shot is one of the most frustrating mechanics. Vehicle balance also desperately needs a pass. If tow missiles from tanks and IFVs are going to be this easy to hit helicopters with, can we please at least make them not be a one-shot? Number 5, spotting rework. At the moment, Battlefield 6 is a Dorito shooter. This constant feeling of being spotted 24/7 is contributing to players being too aware of each other in different situations. Players can constantly see you through environmental smoke. This, along with map design, are the main contributing factors to feeling like you're being shot from every angle at all times, leading to the tiring feeling for new and casual players and bad readability for more skilled players. It punishes the players that like to flank and outmaneuver too harshly. Obviously, if 3D spotting was nerfed, this would also need to be accompanied by a visibility pass to find the right balance. I plan to do an in-depth video talking about a spotting rework very soon. Number 6, Tonal Drift. Battlefield 6's marketing team did an insane job this time building hype and made the gaming world believe that Battlefield 6 was going to be the spiritual successor to the grounded military shooters of old. But I don't think that's actually the case in execution. It feels more like 2042 with Modern Warfare 2 2022 built on top. It's fair to say there's a lot of players that feel rug pulled because it goes against the expectations that were created during the lead up to release. When players feel like the game is the opposite of grounded and immersive, as they were led to believe, it actively pushes away many of these players. Some may say that these players just misunderstand what was being put out, but I would argue that there is a massive desire in the market for this kind of product. And when players feel that this isn't the case for Battlefield 6, it does push away a large number of players. You can't play around with the immersive feeling that many players have been craving in recent years. I saw many disgruntled Call of Duty fans unhappy with modern Call of Duty's movement and cosmetic trends, yearning for the old school days of COD. And I think it's fair to say that they too were led to believe that Battlefield 6 was going to be the spiritual successor to that era of military shooters, when these games took themselves just a little bit more seriously. Instead of catering to Battlefield fans and these disaffected COD players looking for a new home, EA opted to copy Activision's homework and did the exact same mistakes that made players leave COD in the first place. This was a case of a missed opportunity to differentiate Battlefield from modern Call of Duty's mistakes, and that chance was squandered. This has caused both Battlefield players and these COD refugees to feel alienated. Of course, many streamers feel like this doesn't matter at all, but it does. Many of these streamers were going to move on from Battlefield no matter what was done. Battlefield 6 skipped the opportunity entirely to just offer cool, grounded cosmetics to the player base. We currently have a G.I. Joe versus Cobra vibe going on, and this is not appealing to many players. Fill the store with bundles that make players say, "Wow, that is cool," rather than, "What are we doing?" Number 7, thoroughly QA'd patches. Obviously, nobody intends to put out a patch that introduces more bugs, but more time and attention have to be paid to quality assurance. I understand that the game released 6 months earlier to beat the GTA 6 window, but this rushing has caused many of the areas of the game to feel half-baked instead of thoroughly thought out and developed. The game should be treated as a work in progress because that's what it kind of is right now. If each update can come out and only add improvements to the overall experience and attention to detail is being paid, then this will help players stick around. It's a really frustrating feeling for many players when you get excited for a new game update, but critical fixes are not fixed and old bugs are traded out for new ones. Ultimately, I do think Battlefield 6 has good bones that can be further improved upon. My ultimate fear is that they will continue to ignore the pleas of the community in favor of copying everything from other games. Battlefield's unique identity cannot be sacrificed. There is no substitute for players to go to. If we want to keep the player base healthy for an extended period of time, then Battlefield Studios needs to capitalize on the momentum they had leading up to the launch of the game. Just focus on making players happy, because that delight will only bring further positive word of mouth to the game. It's true that players will always likely complain, but there needs to be a clear notion created that Battlefield Studios is actually listening to the community, not in word only, but in action. In conclusion, I do want to commend the developers at Battlefield Studios for taking the time to listen to us complain. I know we can be difficult to please, but we're really just trying to make ourselves clear. We just want Battlefield 6 to be successful. I am planning on doing some more deep dives for reworks of various mechanics in Battlefield 6, so stick around to hear about those if you want. Thanks for listening.